Hello everyone, this is Mukundan Raghavan and this video we are going to cover git add and git commit. In this entire video series, this video can be considered as one of the core video because it covers the main concept of git. Let's understand more by going into the video. When you work on the git repository, you might have done already git init. Basically your working directory will be monitored for any kind of changes. How to see what are the recent changes? By using the git status, you will be seeing what are the changes has happened in your git repository. Now we have the main concept of staging area. Here you will be having the intermediate cache or intermediate index area where you will be moving your changes to that. How do you move it? You will be using the git add. You can either move one file by one file or you can move all the files together. Based on the structure, based on the selective logic, you can move the list of files and changes to the staging area. After moving to the staging area, you will be commenting the changes by mentioning the commit message on what purpose this changes has been made. Now, if you see this point, you have three areas. In your working directory, you might do a lot of changes, updates, deletion, and so on. To track and to see all these things, you will use the git status. In second stage, you are moving these changes to the staging area. You may move couple of changes or you may move all the changes. After moving to this staging area, whatever available in staging area, only those are available to be committed. When you commit, it's very much necessary that you will be giving the commit message on what purpose you have made changes. These are the three main concepts that we need to understand when you understand the git add and git commit. Let's jump into the next one. The main question. What is staging area? It is the intermediate area where you will be having all your changes. Even you can consider as the intermediate index or cache area. Then the main question is, why is the staging area needed? We can directly commit the changes to the repository or even you can push it to the remote repository. Why do we need the staging area and why do we have so many commands in middle? The first one is selective commit. As you may be the developer or you may be the QA who will be doing the coding. You might change a lot of files, but only few changes are required for the next commit. So in that case, you can have the selective commit. This selective commit can be done by moving only the required files to the staging area. Even though you made changes lot on your working directory, you will add only the required files to the staging area by using the git add. But how to see all the changed files? By using the git status, you might have changed 10 files, but you will do git add for only required 3 files. So basically it will be useful for the selective commit. And organized commit history. Let's imagine out of 10 files, 3 files for a specific story or specific reason, another 3 stories for another specific reasons, so that you can move this in an organized way. For example, let's imagine you have the story 1. For story 1, you will be having 3 files. You will be adding this to staging area and you will be committing the message with this is part of story 1. And another 3 stories, another 3 files will be moved to the staging area next. Then you will be adding the commit message as story 2 so that you can have the organized commit history. If anything goes wrong or if you want to track back in the future, you can use this commit history and review changes. Yes, when you make the changes, you can see what are the things has been changed by getting into the staging area and fix mistakes. For example, you moved something to the staging area by mistakenly. Before committing, you can again unstage it so that you have the intermediate area. When you do some mistakes, you can roll back. These are the some advantages. Why do we have the staging area? Now let's understand initializing the new repository and contributing to the existing repository, how this command comes into picture. For example, if you have initialized the new repository, you will be having your repository and you will be adding your files and that you will be making these changes moving to the staging area. Once you have moved to the staging area, you will commit those changes. Adding files will be done git add, then it will be moved to the staging area, then you will be using the git commit. Before git add, you can use the git status to see what are the files or folders has been changed. Same goes to the existing repository. You will just clone your existing repository, you make the changes. Before committing, you will just see what are the changes has been done by using the git status. Then you know what are the files has to be committed. Only those files will be moved to the staging area by using the git add. Then after that, you will be doing the git commit with the message, what are the contribution you are doing. Let's do the small practical on this video. Let's go to the project called Git demo. I have placed 3 Java files here. It could be any project files. It could be any kind of language. For Git purpose, Git does not look for any kind of language. Any files will be tracked under the Git. For simplicity, I have placed only the 3 Java files. Let's start from the scratch. Go to the Git bash, the starting command, making this project folder as the Git repository, Git init. Now here you can see .git folder has been created. Now just type git status. See, when you create the git init, it is showing initialize the empty git repository. That means when you create the initial repository, git repository, it will consider this folder is empty. So that means that it does not have any idea about what are the files inside your project folder. Now what are we going to do is like, we are telling, yes, these are the files we are going to work. These are the project files. Then you will tell git add. Then you can mention individual files. For example, let's say git add account.java. Now we are telling this changes allowed and this changes should be moved to the staging area. Remaining 2 files still not there inside the staging area. How do we find that? Just type git status. Before to that, I will just clear the screen. Now type git status. Now here you can see the new file has been shown in green, whereas the remaining 2 files has not been tracked by the Git. This changes has not been tracked by Git. That's the reason it is in red. And it is also telling it is not being tracked, untracked files. If you want to track the changes even in these files, then you need to use the same command git add and the file name. Imagine if you have multiple files and folders, it's not very much practical that you type each and every file name. So in that case, you will type git add and dot. Just enter. Everything will be added. Now just type git status. And here you can see all the file has been added. So basically now we have added all the files to the staging area. Now let's go to the commit. If you type git commit and whatever in staging area will be committed. Now -m, M stands for messaging, then give the messages in the double quote. If you are working for any Jira story, then you need to mention the story name and you need to mention what is the overall changes you have done as part of this story on the given staged files. Let's type initial commit, enter. Now successfully we have committed all the changes to the repository. Now again, if you type git status, now here you can see nothing has been changed. So this way, now we have committed everything, whatever the changes we have done. Basically, we have not done any changes. We added all the files to the staging area and we committed. Now at this point of time, everything in the Git repository. Now let's open any one of the file and make changes. Just add some sample commands, save it. Now type git status. So far, whatever we added, we committed already. In this point of time, if I type git status, it will show you have modified the file called car.java. And if you want to make this to be staged, then you will use the git add. If you feel like these changes are not required, you will type the git restore. For example, let's type git restore. And the file name is car.java. Enter. Now, if you go to the file, you can see the command has been taken out because it went to the previous state. We just ignored and skipped the changes that we have made. Let's imagine I want these changes again. Let's make some other changes. Save it. Now again type git status. Now again it has been modified. Now I want to move to the staging area. Git add. Maybe this time I will go with the file name. Git add car.java. Enter. Now we have just moved to the staging area. Now if you type git status, enter. Now here you can see it has been staged. Even at this point of time, you can again come back. Even though you have made the changes in your local repository, even though you have made that move to the staging area, now this file is ready for commit. But at this point of time, if you feel this is not required, again you can come back. How to do that? Git restore -- staged and then file name. If you just notice what is happening here, when you don't move it to the staging area, it is a simple git restore and the file name. If you move to the staging area, if you want to restore, again it will be the -- staged. Remaining all the things are same. Just enter. Now, if you go to the working directory, you can see still the change is there, but this is moved out of the staging area. Let's go to again the forward direction. Now, git status, the file has been modified. Now git add and type the file name. Now again git status. Now it is in the staging area, you can see. Now I don't want to move backwards, I want to move forward again. That means that I want to commit. Now, see, that's the reason it is also telling changes to be committed. Whatever is there, that will be committed. Now git commit -m. The message is car file has changed for user story 123. Enter. Now here you can see one file changed and it has been committed. Now the commit ID is this one. So this commit ID is very much important in the further videos because this is the unique reference, what has been changed, what has been committed. So in that future, if you want to refer based on the story or based on any kind of a historical purpose, you can use this commit ID. So far what we have done, we have initialized the Git repository by using the git init command. Then we added the 3 files because when you initialize, it will be initializing the empty repository. It will not have any entries or any files to be tracked inside your Git repository. First time you will be adding all the files manually. Then after that, you will be making the changes. When you make the changes, it will be showing in the Git status. When you feel like these files or these changes can be moved to the staging area, you will be moving with the git add and the file name, or if you want to move all the files, git add and dot. After moving to the staging area, if you feel like I want to restore something, I don't want to move further, I want to remove some files from the staging area itself, then you will use the git restore --- staged. Imagine the happy flow. You initialize the project, you added the files, you added everything, the file entries, then you made the changes, then you are telling everything is fine. Then you will use the command git add dot, everything will be added to the staging area. Git commit -m, m stands for message. You will mention what are the changes, what are the main overall changes, everything you will be mentioning inside the message. Then you will just commit it. After commit, you will be getting the commit ID, which will be the future reference, which will be the unique identifier to see your commit. So in this video, we have covered this much. In coming videos, we will see what are the other things. Till then, always be a rainbow in others' cloud.